art show. And so we had one for 4 years, every year, and I wanted it to change. I wanted to transition it into something else, right? So this is the part where, like I stated, artists, we start to think outside the box. We start to push in other directions with our artwork, and that's what that was. It just got to a point to where I wanted to venture out and try something different. So I wanted to keep the Black Angel name, but I wanted to take it into some other direction, transition it. So what I did was I started to dig back in my past. When I was younger, I was really big into character design. So when I was like maybe 10, 11, 12, 13, something like that, in my bedroom in my mom's house, I had my whole wall filled up with like drawings that I did of different people that I made up, coming from anything and everything. I was a big fan of like video games back then too, so I guess that's where my son gets it from. But I was more into like the fighting games, like Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat and Fighter's History, Fatal Fury, all those. Tekken was a little bit later on, but like back in the day, it was all about Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat. So it was one or the other, really. And so what I did was I started to create characters. What if these characters were in these video games, or what if these characters were in a cartoon or something? And I started drawing all these characters. I had them all on my wall. Excuse me. So because of that, thinking back on the way it used to be in the past, I wanted something to kind of like come from that. So I decided, okay, why not create a comic book? So at one point, me and Miss Michaela, my business partner, we were working together at a place called Charter Communications. And then eventually that's how we met. And then because of her being in one of my other art shows, the Black Angel art shows, I remembered her talent. I remember what she could do. Eventually she left the company before I did, and then later on I left the company to go to where I am currently right now. But I did not know when I got there, she was going to be there too. She had already left that company to work for the company I'm working for, so we reunited that way. And so during this little hiatus, and that time between her leaving one company and me still working there, I was already working on the first issue of Black Angel, the comic book. And so I figured, I need to find someone that I can partner with that's going to help me, because I'm almost finished with part of it, but I need that extra person to kind of give me that digital sense. How do I go about getting this thing in color, to bring it to life? And so I thought about her when I saw her at the new place we work at, and I presented it to her. She got excited, and she wanted to do it. She was all down for it. So eventually what happened was we ended up working together. We created the first Black Angel comic book back in 2015, and ended up partnering from there. We ended up sending off the concept to different other places. We signed up for Image Comics to publish us. We signed up for, I believe, even Marvel in DC, or we looked into that. So we were trying to find these places to publish our book. And we were pretty much playing the waiting game. Because if you don't know, if you submit this work to a company that's already well established, they don't tell you that they have millions and millions of other people already submitting their work in too to be published too, and that wait could be forever, and you may never hear from them. So maybe like 2 months into waiting, we decided to go ahead and do a self-publishing deal. So we ended up buying all this equipment. We did everything ourselves. Our first books that we put out, the physical copies, were makeshift books that we did. We learned how to make books. So I could put that on my list of new things that I know how to do now, is actually make a physical book. But then after a while, it becomes kind of costly because we have to buy ink and things like that, which can get way expensive. So we found another alternative. We found an actual company that can publish or create our books for us. So from that point on, we've just been rolling with that, and we're keeping an open mind for other things to come along, so that if we need to switch it up or add on to what we already have, we can be a little bit more versatile in what we do. So
Well, you actually answered one of my questions. I didn't think you were going to answer one of those.
Yeah, usually it just goes off like that. I start talking and then it kind of like leads up to it, so I'm sure.
Well, the next question actually was the question and answer. It was, when did you two meet?
Okay, so to give a little bit more information on that, we first met at Charter Communications. It's a cable company here in Louisville, and I met her actually through a mutual friend, and ended up, she was the girlfriend of that mutual friend, and then he kind of let me know that she was really into art. She really knew how to draw. She really knew how to do portraits and paintings and stuff like that. And he felt, excuse me, he felt it would be a good idea to talk to her. So I did, and I was able to actually put her in one of my art shows, the Black Angel Art Show. And so she brought a different flavor, a different style to the whole thing. Where usually we're more into the traditional art, like paintings and drawings and things like that. She brought digital art to the art show, and I always kept that in mind. And I actually even bought a couple of her pieces from the show, just because I liked what she did and how she did it. So that's how we first met, and that's how I kept her in mind when it came to introducing to her Black Angel, the comic book.
So, how did you actually come up with your logo?
All right, well, our logo is something we sat down on. It took us about a week or two to get together. It's a moniker of both her last name and my last name. My last name being Green, her last name being Byrd. And then we figured we need something that would stand out, kind of very simple, but at the same time bold in its look and strong, and something that people will remember. And also it needs to look really cool, right? So, we thought, okay, why not make this little bad shape pendant type deal symbol with like a symbolic, whatever, something that looks like a bird, and it's all in green. So we pretty much went with that, and it's been with us since day one. And even though we may alter it, through the time, the symbol part of it itself will stay the same.
So your logo, it's pretty much a combination of both your names. So the actual picture of it, so it's pretty much an actual bird.
Right.
But it's all in green.
Right.
That's very creative. I give you credit on that.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
So when did you meet your publisher?
Well, we're self-publisher, so we were already there. So yeah, we don't have anybody on the outside. We're doing everything ourselves. The only thing that we're doing is we have a company that we use to actually make the physical book. So that part in itself, is the only outside, beside us. But we are self-published, so.
Self-publishing.
Yeah.
That's very good. So, if it weren't for your interest in art, where do you think you would be now?
If it was no art, period, I don't know. I don't know where I would be. I don't know. Hopefully someplace good. Hopefully someplace safe and out of trouble. So, other than that, I don't know. I couldn't tell you. Art has always been a part of my life, whether it be from like just doodling, being that little kid in the back at a classroom drawing, or even outside, just finding some way to get away from the outside world, or even just creating stuff to help others out, because, that's one things I found out about myself is I like to help others through my art. And that's including if I want to provide opportunities for other artists, other creators, whatever it may be. I find satisfaction in that. So outside of art, I couldn't really tell you. Probably still trying to help somebody, but whatever else I'm doing at that time. So.
So what do you think you would be, where do you think you would be if you never met Michaela?
I'd probably still be doing this. Probably just going at it myself, or trying to find, I guess, someone else at the time. I'm glad it didn't end up that way, because she has been a key asset to the push of this company. She helped create the website, and she put her all into it, and she's still learning how to do more with that. So it's just going to benefit us in the end. We were able to pull other artists, writers, and creators just in the past couple of months now. So our team has actually grown, and we look forward to putting out more for next year. And she is amazing when it comes to our meetings and us being able to actually pull them together and try to work and collaborate and get some things in order. So, outside of Michaela, I will still do it myself. Things will probably be different, but I don't think that I will ever have anybody like Michaela when it comes to, Greenbird and working.
Well, want to read another portion of the book before we go to break?
Sure. Let me see what I can find in here for you. Alrighty. So this is actually in the beginning of the book. Now the setup for this is the same two characters that we spoke of earlier, but this is their introduction to the public, to the reader, and them pretty much reacquainting themselves with each other. So pretty much this is how that's set up. So this is the beginning of the book. Blue, we need to go topside now. Fill me in. There's a new threat, and we don't know exactly what it is. It's taken out most of our defenses, and is Kozo all right? He's fine. He's holding the line with Captain Sparks and Broadway, but for how long, I don't know. And the others? All gone. Whatever that thing is, it took them all out before Kozo and the others could get to them. So let's go take care of our little... Hold on. What's wrong? Let's do a quick weapons check first. So that is a setup between them about to go topside. They're in an underground bunker right now. And the ending of that begins their introduction, or a soft introduction, of another character that's going to be introduced in the book later on.
So before we go to break, how was your experience at GalaxyCon? So I know you were there.
GalaxyCon, excuse me. GalaxyCon was, it was good. It was very good to us. We were able to collaborate. We were able to make new connections. We were able to meet up with a lot of the bookstores that we're going to start selling our books out of as well. We were able to sell out of our copies of books that we had there, so that was great for us. Just being able to get more exposure, beyond what we did last year. Last year was SuperCon, and they changed over to GalaxyCon. So this year we were able to, pretty much do a little bit more. The first year was actually more of a get my feet wet, try to figure it out. Yeah. How can I find out what type of algorithm I need to use for this? And this year, with the others being a part of the team, I think we accomplished that a whole lot more better than what we would have had, last year. So this year was pretty good. GalaxyCon did an awesome job. Can't wait to be in next year's.
Well, we'll be going to break now. You can follow us. You can follow. I'm Mr. Animated from Dee's Corner. You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Dee's Reading Corner. That is D-E-E-S. Wait, D-E-E-S Reading Corner. Yeah, how can they follow you?
All right, well, you can follow us on all social media. Greenbird Comics. Byrd is spelled with a Y. That's GREENBYRDCOMICS at Facebook.com or Instagram.com or Twitter.com. So we're on all three. We also have a website, which is www.greenbirdcomics.com. You can look through there, see our previous interviews, as well as buy books from us and our other content from that website.